Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got two replays in the Eastern Alliance Era 2 Premium Medium Tank, the WZ-122. Now this is a fantastic premium tank. It makes absolutely solid credits. It's a boatload of fun to play. And that's because it's got a really good gun with good DPM. I mean, a 6-second reload for 470 in Era 2 is solid. The penetration on it is a little bit annoying at times for dealing with certain tanks, like the FE4211, for example, at 372. And because you've got heat rounds, there's no point taking the heat rounds because you won't do anything with those, unless you're facing against one of those G.I. Joe STRVS ones. Yeah, but you've got really good DPM in general anyway when you actually use the gun. It's pretty accurate. The aim time's like 1.8 or something like that when it's fully pimped out. It's got the 4-shot ATGM launcher, which is amazing because you use that ATGM with this main cannon and you become such a damage dealer. You have so much stopping power that when you catch people out like this T72M1, you can deal a lot of damage to them. Except for when you screw it up. Well played, me. Well played. And yeah, this is where this Type 79 is going to feel the pain, right? Because we pen him with one and it's like, well, I've got my ATGM and we rack him. That's where the stopping power of the tank is just incredible, right? It's absolutely fantastic. It's got good mobility as well, 55 kilometers an hour, and that's a pretty good camo for an Era 2 medium tank, which you can get down to like 282 with the setup I've got. And that just helps you be that element of surprise and be that surprise, hello, and take a load of damage away from someone. I mean, for me, it's a second line support tank because it's a tank to be there to help people. You deal the damage while someone soaks up the punishment because it's got no armour, so it doesn't bounce much. Obviously, the turret being rounded means that you occasionally bounce the odd APCR around here and there off of it. But for the most part, you do not rely on the armour of this tank. You just rely on the incredible stopping power and then try not to be the main focus of people's attention. And if you do that, you will deal some incredible amounts of damage and just absolutely wreck people who underestimate you. And that's the thing. If people do YOLO you, like that Type 79 did earlier in this replay, you just absolutely trash them. And they just don't realise it when they come in on this tank. And it's just definitely a very, very nice thing to have. But it just means that you're always moving, right? You're always attacking, you're always firing. And it just means that it's just a barrel load of fun. I really enjoy the tank, to be perfectly honest with you. It's really cool. So in terms of a crew on the tank, I run a Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Situational Awareness, Steady Aim, Run and Gun, Camouflage Expertise, Silent Driving, and Muffled Shot. Now, I run the camo perks because, like I say, it leads to the ability to go surprise and shoot someone, right? And they don't know you're there until you've done the first bit of damage. And usually, that leads to you doing at least 1,200 damage in this tank because you'll pen someone for about 400-500 damage with the main cannon, and then you'll deliver the big ATGM blast for another 900-800 odd damage, right? And you've done 1,200 damage in 2 shots before they've even been able to react to you and done anything to you, right? So having the camo really helps to do that. That's why I run those. And then Run and Gun and Snapshot, or Steady Aim, sorry, to help the gun just be better. And in terms of equipment, I run Rammer, Vert Stabs, and Camo Net. Vert Stabs, again, to make the gun just 20% better, which is always what you want to do, especially in Era 2, where a lot of the time the guns are pretty accurate, but at the same time, it's getting to that point where some of the guns are really accurate and some of the guns are pretty accurate, so you want to make sure that you're getting the most out of all of your guns, essentially, and it's a main feature of most of the tanks is that you want to be able to just keep consistently putting damage in. And then Camo Net, because like I say, surprise. I want the element of surprise on my side so I can pop in and do 1,200 damage before someone's blinked. And that's the best thing. And I'll always say the best thing to do is probably use the ATGMs first when you come in against someone, because you launch the ATGM, then you get spotted, and the ATGM hits them first, and then you can shoot them with the main cannon. Although do be careful when you do switch between the ATGM and the main cannon, because sometimes, and I don't know why, but and it actually, to be honest, is like it a lot of the time. If you fire the ATGM and then pen and then instantly switch back to the main cannon and fire, for some reason it always derps into the floor, and I have no idea why. It just misses a lot of the time. It's like it's not fully aimed, even though it tells you it is. Really annoying, so just be wary of that. So yeah, this first replay, we've done 8,000 damage so far with 1,281 assistance. And it's like, well, are you sure, sir? Okay, goodbye, Mr. 185. Oh, well, look, another leopard. Goodbye, Mr. Leopard. And we have a rack him. Yeah. Oh, this tank, man. This tank, it's great. Those leopards were like, lunch. And I'm like, no, sir, you are the lunch. And we took down 2 tanks in 2 seconds, essentially. We finished with the ace tanker, the 9.7k damage, 1200 assistance, 1883 base XP. A great game for the WZ-122. Like I said, this tank is just dirty amounts of fun. It's just so good. It's just really, really good. Because, I mean, 372 pen is fairly low for Era 2. Because there's so many tanks that have that, the start at 420 when fully upgraded up to like 500 odd nearly. Or 450 actually, I think, for non-premium rounds. So 372 is low. And that's one of the sort of what you call balancing factors of the tank. Because you do struggle when you come against tanks like the FV4211 where they've got just ridiculous armour and you just struggle to pen it. You have to hit the drive wheels or the rear or catch it flush in the side. And even then, when you're shooting it flush in the side, it seems to ricochet shots every now and then. And that's really annoying. Obviously, you are very, very good against lightly armoured tanks like the Leopards. But like I say, as soon as you get against tanks that have armour, that's where you do start struggling. You really have to be that second line support tank and be the one that, you know, you come alongside, someone's distracting them and you go, hello, I've now got your rear and your side. And you can smash in the shells. And yes, as you can see with me wiggling the gun here, the 122, I think in the last video I did, you could see it, used to have a wiggly gun problem. When you were using the reticle and you were just aiming down the sights, the gun used to move independent of the reticle, which was really annoying. But they've solved that bug now, which is thankfully good. And yeah, you can actually aim down the sight and the gun moves with the reticle, which is great. Or with your aim circle anyway. But yeah, it's such a deadly tank and it's a lot of fun. You naturally, because you've got 460 pen on the ATGMs, you have to know what you're going to fire the ATGMs at. So like when you see a T55 Enigma, like you saw in the first replay, or you see an FV4211 or something like that, you have to know you're firing an ATGM at the drive wheel. Because for the most part, the ATGM will just hit those tanks and do absolutely nothing because it'll do like 30 damage or something. So it's always the thing to do is when you see a tank, you just go, hey, I shoot it in the drive wheel straight in. And a lot of the time, you actually seem to ammo rack them as well doing that. So, you know, you can just do that. So the second replay, we are on Hellfire Pass. And we've pushed very aggressively down this one line and got into a position to try and attack those guys that are sitting in this area here, where the Enigmas are. Now, I'm just looking for a shot into the cupola of the Enigma. It doesn't quite go in. He ends up just smashing a shot straight into us. Like I said, this tank doesn't have any armour, so it's very easy to pen for them. And so I'm like, okay, you know what, that position I was in was a bit too dangerous. I don't want to be there. I've taken 2 hits already. I don't want that. I want the ability to take 1 hit to then deal 1200 to someone else, right? That's the whole point. That's why I say it's second line, because it's like, you know, you lose too many hit points. You use that valuable ability to 2-tap people, because if you get 1 shot in, then they're just going to kill you. So it's that whole end of game auto-loader feeling, essentially, where, you know, the more hit points you have towards the end when you're mopping things up and slamming shots in, the better, because you can just come in and go, hello, friends, take a hit, and then, you know, use your HP wisely to deal tons of damage. So, right now we are flanking. We're flanking behind these Enigmas who haven't got a clue that I've done this. And it's like, well, hello, sir. Slam the shot into his drive wheel, slam another shot into him there, and then pull back. And again, I'm just like, well, I'm just going to kill this Enigma. So we track him in place, and then it's like, well, now I will just launch the ATGM into your drive wheel and finish him off. And like I say, if we shot that Enigma anywhere else, we might have done a bit of damage, but for the most part, the only real place we were going to pen him was through the drive wheel. And that's the other beautiful thing of this tank. How does that ricochet anyway? If you track people, it makes it really easy for you to actually use the ATGM as well, which is great. So we've got this Centurion 1, and I'm like, Centurion 9, sorry. And it's like, well, there we go. We slammed an ATGM straight into that guy for a lot of damage. I could have hit him with the standard cannon, but I thought, you know, I'm just going to slam the ATGM in. We smash a shot into the M60A1, slam a ATGM into his rear, set him on fire, and finish him off with the main cannon. And we're up to 6.1k damage so far. I say it's just so quick. You just rack up damage so fast. Now we've got flanking shots at the TR-125. We slam a shot into him, damages ammo rack. And we're just using this position as well as we can. Naturally, this tank has 5 degrees of gun depression, which is a little bit low, and can be a source of a frustration at times, but it is what it is. That guy is being dealt with, that TR-125, so it's like, well, you know what, I'm just going to come in and slam some shots into this Centurion. We track him in place a little bit, but he is pulling back. And I'm like, what should I use? The ATGM, which I can finish him off with 1 shell, or the main cannon? I decided, you know what, I'm just going to go help this guy, because this guy's not doing too well against this TR-125. We slam a ATGM at him, but unfortunately, he just goes over a bump, and we were aiming too low, so we end up just hitting his tracks. We slap another shot into him, into his upper plate, and he gets finished off. Now there's a T-62, and it's like, okay, I'll slam a shot into you. But the ATGM, which is something you got to be careful of on the 122, just comes out of the right-hand side, and it just goes a little bit past him. And because we were aiming a little bit too far to his right, the ATGM just flew straight past him, which was really kind of annoying. We finish off that guy, though, and now we come across this Centurion 9, and we shut him down too. Now it's just the FV4211. We have 1 ATGM left, so it's like, well, I can just get a shot into his rear. We aim the shot at him, but he's just going a little bit too far, and a little bit too fast and too far to the right, and we aimed a little bit too far to the left, essentially, and that ended up meaning that we missed. But we do get to finish him off with another shell into his side, and we finish the game with the victory. 6 kills, 10,354 damage. Like I say, nice amount of credits. Ace tank of 360k credits, 1960 base XP. A really great game for the WZ-122. A hell of a fun Era 2 premium tank. It's well worth picking up whenever it comes back up, because it's just so much fun. It makes you so many credits, and you can just have a right laugh with it. And like I say, if people attack you and yellowing you and have not got a clue, you just trash them so quickly. It's great. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.